Welcome everyone to our session, Ensuring Scalability and Security for Mobile Device Management. And I will be your host and moderator, Bill Clark. I'm the Global Vice President of Mobile Strategy for SAP. And with me today we have Vincent Nicola Santacroce. He's Head of Research and Innovation at Poste Italiane. And Russell Fry, who's in our Mobility Solutions Center of Excellence. And I think maybe to start with, Vincent, if you'd like to maybe describe your implementation of mobile device management to get us started here.
Sure, with pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. I joined Poste Italiane in 2004, and today I'm responsible for research. Actually, currently I'm responsible for research innovation in Poste Italiane. We launched in 2008, so 4 years ago, a project called Electronic Mailman Project, where we decide, as the first step of our mobile strategy, to put technology in the last mile. That means for a postal operator, and considering all our logistics process, is to equip all our mailmen with a mobile device, a mobile printer, and a mobile point of sale device. As you can imagine, that meant change completely the way of working of our mailmen. Educate them to use technology and devices instead of doing their day-by-day work, paper-based and with a pen, a piece of paper, and a bag full of mail.
So with having a workforce that maybe wasn't as technology savvy as some segments, did that place an extra emphasis on the importance of mobile device management?
Absolutely yes. In fact, I like to call our project more a program where we had to choose the right device, choose the right device management platform, choose the right system integrator in order to make the applications, but especially convince and motivate our final users to get on this train and make it a success. So I like to define it a lot more a change management project more than an ICT technology project.
Right, so a part of that change in the daily life as you implement that, it's important if there's an issue with the devices that they can call in, that someone can look on a Sapphire console and help debug the situation.
Exactly. We were looking for something that more than giving us all the drill downs and the data about how the devices are used, something that could do that as a standard functionality, but get the device management platform that could help us support better our final users. Something that I like to define bidirectional. Get information from the final user and the final device, but also be able to give them information. That is the hard part of a device management tool.
Right, right. So where do you stand? Let's add a little bit of color. How many devices have you deployed now or are under management of our MDM package?
Right as I'm speaking, there are 24,000 devices, 24,000 printers, and 24,000 POS devices. I like to say this because the platform doesn't manage the user. It manages multiple devices, different devices. It permits you to connect one to the other as a kit, but it also permits you to manage them singularly as a single type of device. Right now, 24,000 users equipped with the 3 devices, but in the last year and a half, we're going to move up to all our total workforce of 40,000.
So will you have 40,000 of
exactly.
each type of device, so
exactly.
120,000 devices being managed by the system. Russell, how does that fit in terms of our scale of Sapphire implementations? I know we have some of 200,000. Is that where does that sit?
Yeah, scalability from a global perspective, which I can bring to the table, is becoming quickly the key component to our customers' decision criteria and critical success factor in an MDM implementation. And here's why. You have the growth factors that Vincent talked about, both in the number of users. You also have growth factors in total devices each user is carrying. We think it's about 2.5 devices on average per person. And then on a device, you actually see qualitatively the load that device is putting on the MDM servers, going from messaging only into mobile applications. So you have this growth of both quantity in people, quantity of devices per person, as well as quantity of use cases on each device. That combined with scarcity of IT resources and scarcity of IT dollars to budget to support and run these implementations. And then, of course, we all know that these systems, being real time and in the hands of your most productive field workers, sales workers, and executives, have no threshold for downtime. So you have an equation of growth plus scarcity plus need for uptime, and that really boils down to the need for a scalable solution that can handle the number of transactions, can handle the device growth, and can handle the difference of device function from just handling a secure password lock state to doing everything now from managing content and applications, providing storefronts, and that obviously has a heavier strain on CPU back end. So scalability has a real opportunity to be the key driver for customers and MDM to ensure a cost-effective implementation.
Thank you. So back to the devices that you're supporting. So you're supporting 3 devices per user. And then for the main computing device, you were sharing with me before our talk here about some drivers that really cause you to have a more diverse set of devices than maybe is the norm for other organizations.
Yes, as it's typical for a postal operator, in the case of Poste Italiane, we're talking about a private company but owned by the government. That means that we are not able to directly purchase what we like, but we also always have to run by public bids. Public bids, you can address them as you like, but you're never sure who's the winner. So that means today I can have the manufacturer A, tomorrow if I relaunch the bid, I can have the manufacturer B, manufacturer C, manufacturer D. That means that, and not only manufacturer, but also maybe different operating system. So that means that we had to look at something at the beginning of the project that was able to let us manage different devices in terms of producers, different operating systems. For example, today we're running devices that run on Windows Mobile 8. We have some stuff that's running on Windows Mobile 6.1, some stuff that's running on Windows Mobile 6.5. So we had to be sure that we were able to manage multiple manufacturers and multiple operating systems.
Right, right. And along those lines, let's think outside the current population that we talked about. That's one project. You were also sharing that you have other projects coming down the pipe.
Because here we were talking about bringing technology and bringing mobility to users not used to technology. We're also now we're launching a pilot on 30 users that refer to as sales reps. So here we're talking about people that use the technology, but we're trying to let it use it in a different and in a smarter way. We're asking them, and we launched the pilot in order to understand when you're at home or when you're in front of your client, what is the kind of information that's more helpful for you in managing your customer relationship? So we're talking about using tablets. So we're talking about a different type of device, because when I talk about the Mailman project, we're talking about smartphones. So now we're talking about a different type of device. We're talking about a different type of application and of user experience. So, and we're talking about users that need the right information because they know how to use the desktop solution. So we're also getting more and more detailed about which are the expectations of our users. And we are here, while in the case of the Mailman project, we are building something new. Here we're bringing mobile back-end applications that a user already uses. So it's how to get the right information in a different manner, on a different device, and in a different work experience.
So important part of that then, if you look at over time, you then have, when you introduce this to the sales force, you're going to have version control for your applications. You have this overlap with your world of the desktop, with your portal, with web content management. So I'll pose this one to Russell, talk about how Apharia is evolving in terms of web content management, in terms of manageability around the application storefront piece of that, just managing the users so that they can manage their own device lifecycle management.
Absolutely. I think first of all, it would be important to set some context here. Life is a circle, and certainly for the team in Apharia, this is also true. The solution 15 years ago started out as a distributed computing product that had a very strong background in managing laptops. And so some of the security modeling associated with those types of endpoints, mobile endpoints, are included and actually evolved in the platform today, so it can handle that full diversity. It sets a great foundation, Bill, to be able to then layer on the different rules engines required to say what kind of content can go out to different device types. I think that you need to be wary of form factors and making sure you're delivering content that's appropriate to be consumed by that piece of technology. And so the journey that we're on today is one where we're supporting multiple different types of tablets, multiple types of smartphones and endpoints. You'll see us make entree into machine to machine, and we'll deliver content across all of that diversity. Where we see one of the biggest upticks right now is in something called unstructured document, which largely would be commonly called a secure file delivery. It's something like a box.net type of functionality where users can seamlessly extend the folders on their desktop devices or desktop and laptop computers and have those files securely go out into a container on the mobile endpoint. And so we see Sapphire having that capability in the near future and being able to support that content distribution. Nothing is more critical than businesses' information. So we want to get that information out to end users. We just want to do so in a secure fashion. As we know, there's some solutions out there that have this functionality that do not have enterprise command and control, and those documents can be compromised and lost. And from our research and findings, these unstructured documents like PowerPoints and Excel spreadsheets and Word documents often have the most business critical information on them.
Thank you. So you were sharing with me before as well around your activities on Windows 8. I'm sure that's fairly hot topic, so maybe we can get some of your insights on that.
Sure, with pleasure. Currently, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, Microsoft asked us to be first wave partner, so an early adapter of Windows 8. We want to do something a little bit different than usual, so not simply do a compatibility test of what it means to install Windows 8 instead of your Windows XP or Windows 7 and see if your applications run correctly. We want to do a little bit different, something a little bit different, and understand if the new features that Microsoft at that time was promising were real. So we started launching a little bit of projects, having also, let me say, a lot of fun, for example, connecting Windows 8 with the Kinect technology, so understand how gestures could work. So we had also a lot of fun in our laboratories testing that kind of stuff. But we wanted to concentrate on what it meant really having apps, Windows 8 style apps, multi-platform from a smartphone to web TV, and understand also from a device management point what it will mean from that point of view. Because at that point we're not talking only about a mobile device, we're not talking only about a tablet, a desktop, but we're starting also to put in the flow also a smart TV. So understand what it means to go from probably what's the opposite of mobile, that's a TV, to what is the smallest thing that is a smartphone.
So it's really a multi-channel strategy
so it becomes
if we
really
look at a
multi-channel strategy
from a CRM point of view.
Where all the management of the devices becomes critical at that point, because there it's not simply multi-OS or multi-device, but it's something totally different one to the other. So we had a lot of fun, and we are starting to build some nice apps that are people is starting to understand, and is starting to understand what it means and how important it is to build stuff that is with the same user experience, and it's not based on what kind of device you're working on. So it's getting not harder and harder, but it's getting more challenging for IT departments in building apps that are really multi-platform, with trying to make as best as you can to make the effort as short as you can, because as you can imagine, time to market is the competitive advantage. So you have to really study, understand how to build stuff once and be able to deploy it multi-channel, multi-platform, multi-device, multi-operating system.
Right, and that plays into the larger platform and tool set that SAP provides with SAP Mobile Platform. The right ones run everywhere. And in an instance where Using a tool such as that, if you make the decision that you're doing native or hybrid web container type of applications, that means if we take your 40,000 employees, we were already talking about 3 devices per employee. Now if we add others to that, or maybe in vehicle, we have work within SAP around connected car, so maybe you have an experience inside the car. You could have 4, 5, 6 devices associated with each person in the flow. So if you do the math, now you're into hundreds of thousands of devices.
Right, and Vincent, I think also in terms of how an MDM vendor is important in the context of those applications, it's not just building the application in a mobile platform and it's done. Today, MDM and a lot of vendors, including Apharia, picks up the role once that application is complete. And Apharia provides the ability to deploy that application out, either pushed or through an enterprise storefront, and then can actually go through configuration and onboarding tasks. So once again, from a scalability perspective, MDM as a term is a little bit tight and constrictive in its definition. I think broadly what we're looking at is a full enterprise mobility management solution here. And your MDM solution needs to transcend up above that device level stuff and understand that it will be doing tasks like the deployment of applications, like the onboarding of applications, configuring them, and then ultimately providing advanced reporting. What streams within that application are being used by your end users? And so having a highly scalable solution that can handle all of that measurement required across the vectors of people, devices, cars, and application types is critically important.
So let's look on the other end of the spectrum around scalability. Let's talk about how you got started. One of the intents of the Apharia team is to provide a solution that scales down. So could you maybe share with us how you got started, how long it took to ramp up, how many employees you're using to support the current system?
Now, not because I worked at this event, but I wouldn't put the device management platform on the critical path in terms of timings. It's a choice that has to be done at the beginning. You have to do it immediately. It's something that you can't decide to do in a second moment, but the timings to make it work are very quick. So after you decided, in our case, we decided, and we're still happy, and very happy about the choice of choosing Apharia as our device platform, management platform. But from the moment we made the choice, it's just figuring out time after time which are the capabilities of the platform we wanted to enrich, activate, deactivate, personalize or not. In our experience, the efforts were on the change management, as I said at the beginning, and the timings for building the application. It makes a lot more times in terms of critical path to build the applications, the functionalities, and not to install and set up your device management platform. So, and in that case, you have to pay a lot of attention because you're running apps. You're going from a paper-based world to an IT world. So it's no return back. So you have to pay a lot of attention when you're going to launch something. You're going to give something IT-oriented in the hands of one of your internal users. If it doesn't work, he doesn't work. If he doesn't work, it makes his job. There's no revenues and money coming in, so there's a lot of trouble in the company.
Right.
So you have to pilot and go step by step on the application that you're going to run, and all the processes that are not business oriented but are surely more and more important to make things work. So we concentrate a lot of our efforts on maintenance, on support, on understanding exactly the state of the art of our devices, which is the business running on our devices. So we concentrated a lot on making the application right the first time, and then all those structures and information that would help us monitor and tune. And Apharia gave us a great hand on this.
So you're well leveraging the dashboard within Apharia
Yes.
to see, for example, if the users are behaving with the applications as you expect in the process.
And also from a technical point of view. So real time, I'm able to understand, is the battery charging correctly? Is there installed the right firmware, the right release of the software? Is the device in the cradle properly? If I'm reaching it, not reaching it. So we're able to have a high-level top management picture of what's going on, but we're also able to go and drill down to a single IP.
Are you taking advantage of location technology so
Absolutely.
that you can debug? So what kind of business results has that led to?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Russell, any more questions before we wrap up, or any summary statement from you?
Yeah, I think that particularly here in Madrid and in the European Union, there's an interesting angle on scalability. The announcements coming out of the European Commission in Brussels recently talking about the cloud initiative, where we're getting data interoperability standards across the different countries and regions, poses an interesting opportunity for companies that are operating here in different geographies. Certainly they talk about the payout of 160 billion euro GDP growth over 8 years if we can get this standard set in Europe. That also enables clients to look at solidifying their footprint. And that is also true for mobile infrastructure. And so what you'd be looking to do is consolidate down on the smallest point possible and get a very strong, scalable MDM that doesn't have to follow different data residency rules. And so we're looking very closely to the European Commission in Brussels, as we hope to also take advantage of that and make these applications and mobile solutions that much easier and cost-effective to roll out.
I think that's a great example of taking scalability to the next level. So I'd like to thank you, Vincent, for participating, and Russell, and all of you in the audience for taking some time during the lunch hour here. And we'll be available for a discussion after a Q&A after this in the room next door. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.